Be ready. Start. This is a reference made by the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, Madras Bench A, under Section 256(2) of the Income Tax Act 1961 and bracket hereinafter be referred to as the Act. The question referred is whether there is any evidence or material on record to support a finding that the sum of rupees 20,000 represents concealed income of the assessee of the previous year 1954-55 within the meaning of section 27(1)(c). The assessee is carrying on business in food grains with his head office at Changanasheri and a branch at Kottayam. In the course of the proceedings taken for determining the taxable income of the assessee for the assessment year 1956-57, the income tax officer found that there was a cash credit dated 5/2/11 for rupees 20,000 in the accounts maintained by the assessee in his head office, the source of which was not properly explained. This credit entry was sought to be explained by the assessee by stating that it represented cash received from his branch at Kottayam, but the income tax officer did not accept this since it was found on verification of the accounts of Kottayam branch that the cash balance available thereon 5/2/2011 was only rupees 6,886 and a debit entry had been made in the branch accounts relating to the amounts of rupees 20,000 only on 6/2/11. Hence, the income tax officer completed the assessment for 1956-57, treating the amount of rupees 20,000 as income derived by the assessee from other sources during the accounting period. The assessee appealed to the appellant assistant commissioner. One of the contentions raised by him in the appeal was that the amount in question could not in any event be treated as assessable income from other sources for the year 1956-57 since the date of the cash credit entry was 22/9/1954, which was outside the relevant accounting period, namely the year ending March 31st, 1956. The appellant assistant commissioner accepted this contention and held that the sum could be assessed only in the year 1955-56. The income tax officer thereupon initiated reassessment proceedings for the assessment year 1955-56. The assessee to whom due notice of those proceedings was given contended that there was no justification for treating the sum of rupees 20,000 as an unexplained cash credit, and he put forward a twofold explanation regarding its source. Firstly, he reiterated the stand already taken by him in the assessment proceedings for 1955-56, namely that the amount had been received by the head office by transfer from the Kottayam branch. Alternatively, it was contended that the firm of Messrs. Haji K, of which the assessee was a partner, had been assessed on a sum of rupees 40,000 as income from undisclosed sources for the assessment year 1956-57, and that a 10/16th share of that fund should be considered as having been available with the assessee during the relevant accounting period, and it constitutes sufficient explanation for the credit entry of rupees 20,000. Both these contentions were rejected by the income tax officer. Stop.